Marcus Antonius, also known as Mark Antony, once a contender for the leadership of the Roman Empire, now dead after inspiring Shakespeare, but I'll get into that later. For now, let us begin with his early life. Mark, was born around the year 83 BC, this being the best estimate that scholars have come up with. Born to a high-end family, the man who would be the great Julius Caesar's right-hand man in battles years later, believed or not, actually had a gambling addiction, so much so that he acquired a sizable debt. Anyone with a question about this debt? No, I don't know the answer to it, so don't ask it. After recovering from this nasty habit, Marcus became a politician later on in his life. It was around this time that some guy went by the name Gaius Julius Caesar, people may or may not have heard of him, had started a Roman civil war against a man known as Pompey, not to be confused with the massive exploding rock thing, Pompeii. To save time on this documentary, we'll summarize this chain of events and that Marcus became one of Caesar's generals. Now here's where stuff gets interesting. Against Pompey's legions, Marcus performed exceptionally well. He was able to win battle after battle, which did not go unnoticed by Caesar, who appointed him his second in command after beating Pompey at the Battle of Pharsalus. After this civil war was all done and over with, Caesar became the leader of Rome and appointed Marcus as a consul, basically thanks for helping me kick Pompey's ass. Skipping forward a few years, that Caesar guy, he gets backstabbed by a few of his friends, notably Brutus and Cassius, quite literally in fact. To avenge Caesar, Marcus allies with a man known currently as Octavian to go after those who killed the Big C. Long story short, they win. But now we have another problem. Who will replace Caesar as the ruler of Rome? Marcus or Octavian? This led to a power struggle between the two, with some propaganda being thrown at each other, roasts, and that sort of stuff. Eventually, they decide to go to war with each other, sparking the Second Roman Civil War. By the way, did I mention during all this, Marcus actually married Octavian's sister Octavia? So, Marcus and Octavian are brothers-in-law? Someone get Steve Harvey on the phone. I have an idea for an episode of Family Feud, if that's still a thing. Losing to Octavian, Marcus allies with the Queen of the Nile herself, Cleopatra. I think you all know her. Now, thing is with Cleopatra and Marcus, they eventually became Cleopatra and Marcus. Sorry, Octavia, guess Marcus is into Egyptians. So now the Civil War is primarily Octavian versus Marcus and Cleopatra, with Marcus leaning on Cleopatra for financial aid and other things. Things aren't going too well for the lovers in the war, and eventually Cleopatra is required to feign her death in order to escape back to Egypt. Her plan was to accomplish this, then run away into the sunset with her buddy Marcus, all romantic and stuff. However, she apparently made it a bit too realistic, or Marcus didn't get the memo, because he believed his girl actually was dead. So what do you think he did next? Stop the video once all the answers are up. That's right, people, pop quiz time. A. He moved on like a sensible person. B. He got back with Octavia. C. He was an idiot and took the phrase kill yourself a bit too seriously. Or D. He went into an awkward emo phase and later disappeared, resulting in historians to believe that he was abducted by aliens from Pluto. The correct answer is C. So, the great Marcus Antonius decided his life wasn't worth living if he couldn't be with his sweetie Cleo, so he ran a gladius through his stomach in the year 30 BC. After this happens, Cleopatra gets word in Egypt that her darling Markimu killed himself in grief of killing herself when she actually hadn't killed herself. Sharing her lover's strange viewpoint on life, she then kills herself by letting a snake bite her. Literally Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. He actually based a story off of this. The more you know. So, after all this, what did Marcus leave as his imprint on the world? His legacy spanning time itself. Well, first off, he helped screw over the Roman Republic with his roast session turned war with Octavian, and second off, his family was banned from ever naming another child Marcus. So he really got screwed over in history. Sucks to be this guy. Really, he only did 3 big things in his life. Assist in the defeat of Pompey, become Caesar's right-hand man, and score with Cleopatra. So that's that. Roll the credits!